This is Kugan Cassius for IFL TV in association with Macklin's Gym Marbella.
Anyone else? I mean, you're like association with him, Scott's, Marbella, Macklin's Gym, Betway, I mean, Matchroom Fight Pass. You've got more sponsors than Lewis Hamilton. You always get me at the end of the day where I'm nearly talked out. I've done a lot of
2 hours, 14 minutes ago, I went, "You ready, Ed?" You went, "Yeah." "Should we do it now?" I went, "Yeah."
I really appreciate you waiting around.
I had nothing else to do. Don't know what it is, but the weather always favours you on these days. Because we've had...
So was it, they say the sun always shines on the righteous? Is that right? It's been a great day. You know, I'll tell you what, not bullshit aside, we do well out of boxing. I'm not going to tell you that, you know, but it's a tough sport, and sometimes it kicks you in the nuts. And then you get days like today where you think, do you know what? I absolutely love what I do. The response for what we've done this season has been great, and the amount of lads that have turned up tonight from Matchroom, a lot of them are fighting Saturday, so they weren't here. But I am so proud of everyone that we represent, and days like today just make me want to go home tonight and work all night, all throughout the night, to deliver for each and every one of them. I feel very passionate right now. You know what I mean? Sometimes you need a little shot in the arm to make you think, do you know what, this is high stakes and you've got to deliver for these boys, and I will do everything to deliver for everyone we represent.
Okay. Let's just, without going deep into it, it's been a long day, so just touch on, we obviously spoke in great depth about Kell Brook. He'll fly to America soon and crack on. We know, you know, what's ahead.
Yeah, he goes 2 weeks tomorrow actually. He's in great shape. I mean, isn't he? He flew down today in a helicopter, and I think that's really about not leaving any stone unturned. 4.5 hours in a car, no, 48 minutes in a helicopter. You know, go out early with a camp, set up an unbelievable camp with sparring partners. We have to win this fight. And the fact is I said to him, that helicopter's going to turn into a Learjet when you beat Porter. And this is what we're saying, it's high stakes, it's the same scenario. You've got to win that fight, you become a massive player. So August the 16th, we won't go back over it, you know, I think he's going to win the fight, and it's brilliant for him. You know, I'll go through everyone who's sitting up there rather than you. So obviously James DeGALE, mandatory challenger for Carl Froch, loads going on now. He's putting plenty of pressure on me for that fight. I love it. I like the fight. I think there's a real chance it could be made next. We'll see how that unfolds.
But James will fight in October.
If he doesn't fight Froch, he's going to fight October 11th at the O2. So I want to try and deliver him a world title shot on October 11th if it's not Froch, and that's up to me to try and deliver. You know, it's not going to be easy, but I like the Froch fight, and I think realistically, if Froch doesn't fight Chavez, I think he'd probably fight DeGALE. You know, it's all about what's commercially beneficial.
What does Froch think about that fight right now?
I think it's just a case of whether that gives him the fire in his belly. I think he knows it's a big fight, but he does want to go to Vegas. But if that's not possible, it's only really the last day or so that we've actually started talking about him fighting again. So I know he's getting to that time where he's thinking about maybe going into camp in the next month or so. So Anthony Crolla fighting September the 13th, well documented. You know, the talks with Abril. Abril's got big problems legally out there with his camps, and it's a mess, and we're trying, and we're getting to the cut-off point now. We've got to try and either make the fight or make a move.
Is there another option to...
There's plenty of other options, a couple of big fights we're working on actually, but done a lot of work on the Abril fight, and you know, again, it's so messy, so many different people seem to be involved, and he's saying that, and he's saying that, and he's suing him, and he's, you know, he hasn't fought for what, 15 months or something like that. Lee Selby confirmed October the 11th at the O2.
Brunker, yeah.
Joel Brunker 29-0. It's eliminator for the final eliminator for the IBF World Title. Tommy Coyle will box October the 25th. Got a couple of really interesting fights we're looking at for him. It's going to shock a few people. Josh Warrington going to box October the 4th at Leeds Arena. Jamie McDonald defending his world title. Scott Quigg wasn't here today. He's with a physio. He's boxing on September the 13th. Matthew Macklin, delighted that we've signed Matthew. Going to be working closely with Lou DeBella as well in America with him. August the 30th, we're over in Dublin. Macklin will announce his opponent next few days. Joshua will box over there. He'll box Zavarotny, who just went 10 rounds with David Price. Brilliant opponent for him, even if I may say so myself. Also made Spike O'Sullivan against Anton Fitzgerald out there, which is like out there.
Yeah.
A real sort of big domestic grudge match. September 27th, we're hopeful to get Smith Abraham. A couple of lads out on the bill there. And October the 4th.
4th of October.
Yeah, that's Leeds. Yeah,
Leeds,
we've thought about it, yeah. So, and then of course move on to the Fight Pass, which has gone down an absolute storm.
Just break it down what the Fight Pass is.
So the Fight Pass is about us sort of reinvesting and trying to support other promoters who I believe are some of the top promoters in the UK, in Dave Coldwell, Steve Goodwin and Steve Wood. People have been asking us for a while now to put a membership scheme together where, you know, fans can get access to pre-booked tickets and, you know, content and what forth, and we wanted to do something a little bit different. So we sat down and we looked at, you know, I've got so many fighters at the moment and I want to sign even more fighters, but it's difficult to keep them all happy. So I wanted to work with other big promoters who I can use also to place my fighters on, and develop relationships with those promoters to work with their fighters when they do reach the stage of when they're ready to go on the TV shows. Good examples: Lee Selby, Josh Warrington, Tommy Coyle, all come throughout that small hall system. So what we're doing is we're starting the Matchroom Fight Pass, which will be 10 live stream shows per year, coming from Steve Goodwin, Dave Coldwell, Steve Wood and myself, a minimum of 10. You get access to pre-book tickets on all Matchroom cards from September the 13th in Manchester to the next Froch fight. You get exclusive access to all highlights and content from our previous shows. You get training videos, fight videos. You even get a free t-shirt, new Matchroom boxing t-shirt, Coogie Bear. I know you're going to be wearing that one. But most importantly of all, you are going to get the Coogan Cassius show. People think that's probably a lie, but it's not. It's something me and Coogan have been working on for a while. Coogan Cassius is going to get his bi-weekly chat show. That's once every 2 weeks. And that's no reference to his sexuality. Where he will be in a Matchroom studio, editing and putting together his own TV show. The pressure is well and truly on. Coogan Cassius, what have you thought about? How are you going to do this? Have you even thought about it? What are you going to deliver for fight fans?
How much creative control do I have over this?
You've got the whole lot.
So,
but we're a credible company. We can't have effing and blinding and you smokers cough. It's got to be absolutely cut to perfection. You've got access to all our highlights, so you can cut in highlights, talk about shows. We want a different guest in the studio every show.
Okay.
So I'm excited, and you're under pressure.
This
is something that we will be paying for you for.
So,
not £500 a week.
No, we ain't talked figures yet, have
no,
we?
we haven't, have we? Now I'm under it because we've announced it. And we haven't even done the deal.
No,
I feel like someone else.
But it's interesting because this Fight Pass thing is sort of in keeping with the whole online element of how boxing has evolved. So, again, giving the other promoters...
I feel like, not being funny, and I know, look, we're in a really fortunate position because obviously we've got an exclusive deal with Sky and we've got a huge number of dates. But I think that, you know, sorry mate, I think that by supporting these other promoters in the show, we're giving them financial input, we're giving them a platform, we're putting in our own production, and we're also basically going to be almost co-promoting the shows, pushing their shows as well through our social networks. So I think it's great for them. They get financial support, they get commercial support, they get our fighters as well fighting on their shows, they get their fighters fighting on our shows. It's good, and you know, I think it's I'm one of those that, you know, I believe it or not, I like to work with other promoters, and there's always going to be politics that are going to stop promoters working together. But in this case, there's no reason to do so. You know, and those guys, they're buzzing for it. They're really buzzing for it, and it's going to do great stuff for their shows, and their shows are quality. I mean, you know, we start on September the 12th on a Friday night in Sheffield with Dave Coldwell's show. He's got Chad Gaynor against Amit Patterson for the English title, which is a great fight. He's got Maxie Hughes against Joe Murray. And he's got the rematch, Jerome Wilson against that guy's name I can't produce, which was one of the best fights I've ever seen. These are quality shows, you know, so I'm pleased.
Will you use some of your Matchroom fighters on that show?
Yeah, not on September the 12th, no. But, you know, basically, we're doing a minimum of 10 shows a year. It'll probably turn into 15, 20, who knows, when we get carried away and the subscription base grows.
With regards to the tickets, the early purchase of tickets, does that apply over across every show you do?
Every show.
So if there is a Froch Groves type event,
if you're a member of the Matchroom Fight Pass, you will get exclusive access to buy not just an early ticket, but the best ticket within that price range.
yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So, I mean, I don't know whether we're going to get 5,000, 10,000, 20,000 subscribers, but it's cheap and you get a free t-shirt. Most people pay silly money for t-shirts alone. So, I think it's great value.
I think, to be honest though, the real draw on the Fight Pass is my show.
Well, I agree. It could be terrible.
It could
be car crash TV.
It will be one of them things. It's either really good,
Marmite.
Yeah, but I have to keep it a little bit corporate, don't I?
I think so. I think so.
Which might lose my edge.
Yeah.
Because you know.
What is your edge?
What? Where is it? Or
Yeah,
what is it?
What is it?
No, you know that, you know, Cougie Bear. Could that come out of anything? Could call
You know
you.
what? I don't mind you. I'm not expecting you to be like, hello, welcome to the Matchroom Fight Pass. But I'm not expecting you to be like, what? Welcome to the Matchroom Fight Pass with a piece of paper covering your face, like you do normally when we're in the studio. It's got to be professional. But this is going to lead to big things to come for you, Coogan. I see you, you know, moving off the internet and onto the mainstream within months.
We'll always be on the internet.
Will you? You'll always keep it real.
Well, we can just do what we want, can't we? I've seen you're a typical example of how you are on internet and how you are on live TV.
What, different on live TV?
Yeah.
What, more corporate?
Of course you have to
probably.
be. Well, you have to be, don't you?
Yeah.
But
what about when I said today? Did you film all the stuff up there? Or James?
What about you having
Adam Smith. Oh, this is a good example of being corporate when Adam Smith goes, I mean, you know, Frampton against Quigg, Brook against Khan, Bellew against Cleverley. These are the fights we want, aren't they, Eddie? I said, to be honest with you, there's not a fight fan in the country that wouldn't have an erection right now. You talking about them fights. I sort of looked round at the crowd, half were in stitches and half went, ooh, yeah. A bit close to the mark. Thought, you know, you should see
if Sky were live filming live, what would have happened then? Wouldn't come out your mouth, would it?
Probably not, no. No, it's true. But that's the good thing about your videos, Coog, because, you know, people see...
Are you making a deal now?
I am, actually.
Oh.
Do you know how much is going on at the moment? Do you know how many big fights are in the pipeline? Do you know how many... it's like...
Well,
I'd love to just tell you what was going on right now in the world of boxing. It's like... It's non-stop. I get home and it's all night, all throughout the night. I'll give you an example. Last night I woke up at 4 in the morning. I turned over, I'd like 12 missed calls, 10 emails, 10. This is between like midnight and 4 AM. And it's just people in America trying to make fights and talk about new ventures, and it's the bollocks, mate. We're absolutely flying at the moment. And today has given me a right shot in the arm, and I cannot wait for Saturday night at Liverpool. And if you haven't got your tickets, get down there. It is. When people talk about, oh, it's a shit card. Is it bollocks? It's a fucking great card. And I tell you what, I can't wait to get in there on Saturday. I'm buzzing.
When are we going to see another Froch Groves type event?
You may not see it for years, but
yeah, but
you know, I mean, look, I'm talking to Wembley at the moment, and it looks like, you know, they'd like us to be their exclusive partner for boxing. She's great, and we'll definitely do a show there next summer. You know, not everything works, and you know, there'll be shows. So look, we're in a really difficult period at the moment, like selling tickets in July. You know, and you've seen with, I mean, even look, the big show on Saturday, the purse money's outrageous. We'll probably only have 5,000 in there. You know, look at Fury Chisora. It's a big fight. It's dying in the box office. You know, it's really difficult to sell shows in the summer. But you've got to do it because you've got to get the fighters out, you know. But not every show works, and Froch Groves 2 just worked, you know. And there'll be shows, big shows that we'll try and do that won't work. So, you know, it's got to be the right time. It's got to be the right fight. Brook beats Porter. You make Brook Khan. It's a massive fight, massive, you know. But it's the timing of doing an outdoor event is the one, you know. Well,
this is your last show of the season.
There's no season now, though, is there?
No, August.
A couple of weeks later, Kelbrook. Then we're in Dublin. Dublin is going to be the nuts. I can't wait.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think we're going to slip out to Marbella in between Dublin, Carson and Dublin. So
very nice. I was out there recently.
Yeah.
What a gym. great gym, great setup. I mean, I can see the lads, what an opportunity to get out there, train, lovely bit of sun, train, lovely, you know, it's a really impressed with the setup out there.
Yeah, it is good. I think they've got some sort of boxing show on.
Yeah, that's the week before, isn't it?
Yeah,
23rd. I might go to that.
Yeah. So they said that's the best time to go to Marbella. So yeah, makes sense. Straight from there, Dublin. Straight
what
from.
What a life you lead. And now you're getting paid for it. It's good to see, son.
Isn't it? I've got a decision to make in September though.
What's that?
September 13th.
Oh, what, Mayweather or Quigg and Crawler?
Don't know.
But you keep going to these Mayweather shows, you never interview him.
I'm not worried about Mayweather.
Oh. Have they made Broner against
Matisse?
It's a good fight.
Would you sulk if I was at Mayweather? No. You get James Elder.
Yeah, maybe I would sulk.
We'll work it out. Alright, Eddie, thanks for talking to IFL TV in association with MGM Marbella. Why are you looking at my shoes?
Do you want to film them?
No, that's alright. Well, what you got to say about them?
I'm not sure about them.
Why?
I'm just not sure about them.
Why?
Show them.
No,
show them.
Oh, really? What's wrong with them? See, if you were wearing them...
No, I wouldn't wear them, full stop. Is that right? Nothing wrong with them. Big shout out to my tailor, October House.
Is that when I saw you
walking around in my pants?
Yeah,
that was
in Baz's office.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. What is that tie?
Tom Ford, that one.
Alright, Eddie Hearn, thanks for talking to us.
Thanks for coming, thanks for all your support, thanks for everyone's support. Genuinely, absolutely flying at the moment, and just fucking bring it all on. Bring it all on. All of it, everything.
And thanks for giving us a Scott sponsor as well.
That's right.
Bring them in, just keep pulling them out of the bag.
Keep putting them on the table for you.
Please. Thank you very much.